Okay, I have green light. No dropped frames, that's a good sign. One interesting thing about the new library is that for some reason the bot is still online. Well, it's shown as online, even though it doesn't actually respond. And nothing is happening here. Oh. Just an oddity, I guess. Well, something to be solved in the future. I'm sure. I'm sure that's not gonna come up. I brewed some tea, but what's the name in English? Or when you wait for the tea leaves. This is not work. Guess well, I wanna reuse the spoon from the coffee. But it still has quite a bit of coffee on it. Oh, not anymore. Right. Okay, today looks like... Oh yeah, I should open up chat. Probably would be a good idea to see what people are messaging, in case they have any questions. Right, let's test the chat. It actually work? It does! Amazing. Well, when I'm testing, I'm testing if it shows up on the OBS overlay. Sure, Twitch chat works fine. Right, it's good. Yeah, I have tea now. Alright, for now. So now, today, well, in this stream. Hot tea. So in this stream, I will be trying to actually handle one of these buttons. Because I managed to add 2 buttons to a message. Now all I need is to figure out how to handle them. I have an example here. So it's supposed to be something like this. But I'm not really sure how that works. I guess I wait for response and then I need to make a call like this. Let's see. Make some space. You use client, bot. So hikari interactions, create event. So that's a built-in, a constant. And here it uses lambda, but event. So oh, let's see, test 1. Oh, this is all okay. Well, I guess I'll come to that. I wonder if I send the same message with the same 2 buttons to the two users at the same time. What happens then? Can they like cross trigger in a way where a message is sent to 2 users and both of them are clicking different buttons? Yeah, I guess let's see. And should probably just define another method. So this lambda thing. Really a big fan of lambdas. I guess it is a tool for productivity in general, but I'm just not used to using it. I guess for very simple things it is kind of easy to read, but it takes a little bit more. Let's see, define kind of method we want handle button. Button 1, and it's supposed to return boolean. Let's declare that. Right. Oh, log debug, start. I'll just to have something in the log output when this happens. Oh yeah, and the actual return. Oh yeah, it accepts event. Doesn't actually define its type. Interaction create. Yeah, I wonder what type of event it will be. It has to accept an event, and then it checks event has interaction custom ID property that I can check. So it will be test for button 1 and test 2 for button 2. So I want to do this. I think this is just to indicate that the button was pressed, well, so you wouldn't get an error when the button is pressed. Well, we'll see. Hopefully this works. Oh yeah, I don't want all of this. I guess I can test with this. This won't be used for now. Yeah, I don't like this because it is a bit awkward to debug. So you can't really step through it. That's why I don't really like it. I'm not sure, maybe I'm just debugging in an odd way. How's the audio? Music a little bit loud? Probably not. Right. Hippity hoppity. Send a message. Test button. And nothing happened. This interaction failed. Okay, so this is not how you handle it. Okay. Let's go read a little bit about wait for. Imagine it should be explained here. Okay, it takes a predicate, event type, event manager, event go. Wait for a given event to occur once, then return the event. Event type to listen for. This will listen for subclasses of this type. Predicate. So this is the function. I guess we can just pass instead of this lambda, we just give well, pass the handle button 1, but like this as a parameter. This should return true if the event is one you want to return, or false if the event should not be returned. What? Don't really understand this part. If left as none, the first matching event type that the bool receives, that the bot receives. When your subtype will be the one returned. Sync predicates are not supported. So timeout has 60 seconds. Okay, let's reduce the timeout to like 5 seconds. Make it a little bit faster in case it fails. Timeout error, so it eventually gives me an error. Okay. Change it to 10 seconds, let's see. Okay. It took a while to start up. Let's see, test. Nothing happened. What about test 2? So nothing happened. Okay, so now it times out. I mentioned it will time out twice because I pressed 2 buttons. Yeah, well, I guess it makes sense. Yeah, to have a timeout for the user interface component like a button, so the users would know. I'm seeing red in my bitrate. That's 4,800. And OBS claims it's streaming at 5,000. It is restream doing something not nice, so it shows offline. It's not good. Okay, the title is correct. Exception. Yeah, well, it is streaming, so I guess it's fine. Right. Event manager. Coroutine. I don't understand. Doesn't this mean that it has to be a synchronous function and it says it doesn't support them? It's a little bit odd. See also dispatch, listen, stream. Subscribe, unsubscribe. Subscribe, I guess. I wonder what about the dispatch? So dispatch. What am I looking at? Gateway bot. Okay, gateway bot dispatches event. Okay, custom event can be done by implementing a class. Yuck. Listeners. Right. Well, it was a good source. Try searching for more solutions. See. What kind of keyword would be good to search? Hikari event message. Back. Yeah. Event type predicate. Wait for. I guess I can do this. Look for. Still talking about wait for. Imagine that should be. The X content, or so it's either Y or N. App listen. Score guild message event. Yeah, I guess this is a completely different way to handle messages from Discord. Used to this at all. Event create event. Wait for is intended to be used in the following way: received event, not wait for event, timeout predicate. This will register a special waiter that will run the predicate against all events that match the event you were asking for. As soon as one is found, that will against all events. Events. What event does it pass? Interaction create event. Okay, let's read about this. Hikari interaction create event. Station. Interaction. Action create event. Event fired when an interaction is created. Method generated by user for class interaction created. Event. Event fired when interaction is created. What kind of interaction are they talking about? What does it mean interaction is created? Interaction channel, interaction member, interaction server of interaction type. Integration. Interaction type, what is this? Type of an interaction, yeah. Application command and integration triggered by user calling an application command. Interaction triggered by user calling a message component. So message component is what I'm looking for. I'm not really using commands. Let's see. Hmm. Yeah, I guess I just need a good example. Accept event. This function tries to detect if anyone chats Y or N. We create this class. Accept event. This listener. Accept message event. Accept event. It seems that the listener is not triggered, so is there something that I did by mistake? Let's see other examples. So this is and so not actually on the team, but I guess he knows enough. What way hikari interaction create event? Like, I don't really get this. Wait. Hey, welcome back, Risk. Back the welcome, yeah. Oh, you come to... Well, we can both struggle in our own ways. This library seems to... Well, I need to learn so many new things to actually use it efficiently. Well, not even efficiently, to even use it. It is quite complicated. What is this? Well, it's a bot message. EFM. Event manager, wait for. Okay, let's see if this didn't open the correct window. Let's do it ourselves. Hopefully you're feeling better. I mean, I didn't realize it was so bad that it was even bleeding. Having a sore throat to the point that it starts to bleed, like that's not something you usually see. Event type. So this is wait for. Okay, so a function taking the event as a single parameter. This should return true if event is one you want to return. What does it mean I want to return event? Kind of, yeah. Or false if the event should not be returned. What do they don't understand. What does this mean? Return event. I'm not returning anything. Like, am I supposed to fire the event myself? I have no idea. I guess it does mean, yeah, that I am the one firing the event. Such a unnecessarily complicated way, it seems. Okay, the rest is fine. I just don't understand this. What's the scheme? How it's supposed to work? Because the examples they give on Discord, like, they don't seem to match. Wait for, entity factory, wait for, gateway bot, wait for, event manager, wait for. Okay, gives me a bunch of links. Yeah, like Fate said, use stream or wait for and wait for the message to come through. No, you can have the check. What are they talking about? Okay, let's see. This is yeah, looks like Python. Event. Oh, so it tries. Event await. Context bot. Where does context come from? Our interaction create event. Timeout 60. Okay, timeout is handled. Else. Where? Try else. Am I missing something? Does actually try has an else clause? That doesn't sound right. Let's see. Pass, break. Maybe Python tutorial. Let's go at language reference. Exceptions. Try else. Yeah. Does it have else? Well, it can have else. Try except. So this is where it handles. Else is fine. And finally, else. Function of else. Digging in the basics of Python. This. Put into the wrong channel, wrong spot. I wanna do exceptions. Hey, welcome back. Okay, you weren't joking saying that it is a little bit different. I'm struggling so much with this hikari library. Like, I have no idea how to read the code with that ATTR library. Like, I'm sure people who write their own libs, maintain their own libraries, love it, but I just can't wrap my head around it. I tried for a couple of hours this morning and just couldn't do it. I just resorted to going to their Discord and looking up examples how to actually use the class, because I have no idea how to read this documentation. To start with, like, I'm trying to use this method and it has a definition. Like, this is the explanation that this should return true if the event is one you want to return, or false if the event should not be returned. Like, and I'm just lost. What do they mean to return an event? Like, this is a predicate, so it is a function that's supposed to be. I'm not sure. Yeah, one drawback with is the lack of examples and tutorials. Oh, okay. Okay, so so I'm not mad. I'm not blind or too stupid. It's just not there. Okay, so that's good, because I thought that I'm not. Oh, I can't really read the library itself. Let's see. We go to the definitions. I guess this is. This doesn't have too much. So predicate. Predicate is, well, okay, it is optional. Event manager predicate. This event manager hikari API event manager. Event manager event 2. Bound base. Typing. So this is one of the base Python classes. So event t co, so I guess this means it's coroutine or something. Okay, well well, I hate like this. The explanation is here, but I just don't understand. What do they mean? Return an event? Return true is if the event is like even the example they give. Like let's go to new bot. So this is the how the developer illustrated how to use it. This is how you use it. Okay, let's see. I wanna see how it's used because I am just baffled. Okay. Okay, there's your predicate. It takes an event. So it has to declare that it's type. Okay, so this is the one thing I did wrong. I declare that it returns boolean. I just had like just a normal event. Well, it has a parameter event, but it doesn't actually say that it is of that specific type. It does not have to have the type. Yeah, well, I guess, well, since it's, well, I guess it is a good practice to have hints on what the function returns, so might as well start doing that while I'm rewriting this, refactoring this. It is just like type hints. Well, you mean this shouldn't matter. Okay, so is instance and message ID. Okay, event interaction. So well, the problem is, okay, so this is, well, I haven't gone this far. So the problem is this my predicate that I create is not being called. So predicate. Okay, so EX timeout. Interaction create event. So this is the same. Oh no, this is not the same. Event interaction. So return event interaction. So what? Wait for interaction. Okay, this is different. In this case, it checks the event happens for the message. I understand that what the checks in the predicate itself are for. Like, I don't understand this part. So I need an asynchronous function. Wait for interaction. Okay, this is a return type will be component interaction. So you need to create a component interaction yourself. So context is tangents / context. Okay, so that's your, well, this is the, oh, this is for commands. That is a util function I use, so I don't have to write that for every message I send. That is for buttons? Okay. Can I get away without using tangent? If you look below in the file. Oh yeah, buttons. Context as build action row. Okay, add button. Yeah, that all works fine for me as well. Label and add to the container. Oh, you can chain it like this, that button as well. Okay. Let's see. Message. Wait, respond. So this is context. Wait, isn't this? What is this context? Slash. So it is tangent for So you use tangent to actually send whatever you need to the Discord. All white flashbang, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't really have... Actually, can I change the style appearance? Classic. Does it have a dark theme? Dark Souls. Dark mode. Okay. Let's add it. Add extension. Yeah, I do. It could be done with just hikari. I'm just not sure how it looks exactly with just hikari. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because it is kind of an issue for me. See how this... Okay, this looks more... Oh. Right. Well, I guess it, since hikari uses tangent itself, should be... Well, it should work very... well, pretty much in the same way, I expect. Or in a similar way. So when I send respond, okay, let's see how I actually send the message. Yeah, send respond with components. And this is not correct. This appears to do nothing. Right, so oh, hikari doesn't use tangent, use okay. Oh. So yeah, so oh, so tangent is okay, traps hikari. Okay, what I was looking at for interaction. Oh, I can't collapse this. You actually mark all of this. So it doesn't really matter. The class frozen button. Oh. I don't really understand from the description what I'm supposed, well, how I'm supposed to get that event. Someone presses the button. Oh, disable buttons. So this is witness message. So this is where you send it, and interaction awaits. Interaction, await for interaction. Oh, I guess there are two ways. Create a dedicated event handler for the button, or in the same function you send a message, wait for the button to be pressed. What you're doing here. Yeah, this is some completely different. Because I definitely want to register a handler for the event. Can't just wait for it. Oh, first of all, I'm not sure how it will work if I have like 10 buttons. Because I plan on having a lot of buttons in each form. Well, that doesn't really matter. I'm trying to understand this now, how this works. So, oh wait, you just declare this. Go there. And wait for interaction, wait for any button, the message to be pressed, then returns the interaction for the button. So the interaction comes after the button press. So because I thought that interaction gets generated when someone presses the button and I get the interaction, but I need to create the interaction myself? That's what you're saying. Interaction is the button press. Yeah, that's what I thought, but if I need to return it myself, then if I'm not getting it from the... well, because the button press doesn't happen on my side. It happens on the client side. I guess I'm just used to client-server architecture, maybe. I'm getting the interaction from hikari and returning it. Okay, let's wait for interaction to happen. Where's the actual body? Is it? Interaction create event. Okay, so you get the event. Right, so the issue... Okay, so I should be getting like an event here. Oh, probably isn't... Yeah. Then event... should have interaction. Now what, let's just have a breakpoint. They take a look around what happens if this actually, well, when it reaches the state. I'm not sure if this is actually gonna work. Probably not. Oh yeah. Not now. Partial initialize module. Running the wrong class. Okay. Let's try again. Okay. First time we ignore it. Now I press the button. Okay, it doesn't hit it. Wait, am I being dumb? Let's breakpoint. Do this again. Yeah, well, it is wrong. I'm pretty sure it is wrong. It's just the question how to make it right. Trying to figure that out. Because I don't really understand. Well, it's not the question of how to exactly write. I don't understand how it works. What's the sequence of events that's supposed to happen? Because well, it's obvious that I'm missing a key part because I don't understand why it returns, like what it returns and how it actually catches the event. Well, if you always return true, yeah, but that's not the problem. The problem is I don't understand what's the structure of this. What? Didn't trigger it? Okay, well, this won't work for sure, but didn't get to this part or what? That's not right. Because I... Okay, let me explain some internals. Hikari connects to Discord via WebSockets. Okay, that's clear. Discord sends events to Hikari via that socket. Okay, that's fair enough. When Hikari gets the event, it looks for who is waiting for that event and gives them that event. Okay, yeah, that's the same that Hikari tells in, well, pretty much there's nothing new. They specify all of that. The part I don't understand is how does it know who handles the event? Because it's not a predicate, it's something else. When I get the like, from my experience, when you give a predicate, so like a future or something else in other languages, you expect that method to be called with a parameter when it is like when that event happens, but that doesn't happen. And I'm not sure, like, it's not just, well, apparently it's not just as simple as getting like sending a function that is supposed to handle it, like handle button 1, for example. Like, that's like this never happens when the button is pressed. It looks like it doesn't even get to this point at all. Like even the code. Okay, now it hits K. And it awaits forever. So this function never actually finishes from the look of it. Ah. The predicate should be called for every interaction create. Yeah, but who handles interaction create? It finishes when the button press happens. Oh, so dumb. So if you give a certain amount of time for a person to press a button. Okay. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Okay. So, okay, so I should hit this breakpoint. Yeah. In case pass doesn't work for some reason. Just log debug. Let's see. So this should be it. When I get the message, I press the button. And it doesn't happen. Press another button, it doesn't happen, and eventually just maybe it doesn't like that it's not in try catch block. Oh, you can't set it to never. Okay. Okay, let's take it. Let's make it none. Things stopped responding. This, my CPU usage is 100%. What? Oh. Okay, well, it was so 100% for a second. What does handle button? This is the whole thing. So I basically took this example. Instead of having a lambda, well, I expanded and made a method. Does your button have a custom ID test? Yes, it does. When I declare buttons, oh. Okay. Well, I don't think it matters. Maybe it does. Okay. Okay. That was my bad. There we have it. Okay, but it doesn't actually get to this point where you can actually check. Like this never happens. Or does it? Show. Yeah. That method is never called. So okay, let's see. I would be very surprised if this actually worked. Then I definitely don't understand something very important. Scored. It changes nothing. Yeah, the first button has custom ID, and this is now matching and it's true. But I don't understand what's the point of all of this. Why do you have to return true? Like that's because in my like in my understanding, when you give a predicate, that's the function that's gonna be called to handle the event. That's not gonna be called to get a true or false. Like I don't understand why it needs to be return a true or false value. Like where it's used then, how it determines what happens. So you can continue to wait if the event is not the one you want, like if the button was for another message. Okay, that's well. Let's. Wait, did it stop? Looks like it hit something. It stopped. Yeah, it hit. Yeah, I'm really confused now. Okay, so let's look at the event. Event. So event has interaction. This is beyond my understanding. Like this is just magic. Okay, think of it as while true. Event await next event. If predicate event return event. Continue. Okay, think of it as this. Okay, this is an infinite loop. So await next event. So okay, it gets next more events. If predicate event, oh, okay. This is so dumb. Okay, so this. Okay, so why name it predicate? Like it doesn't. Okay, maybe I'm being dumb at this point. Yeah, for some reason I thought that predicate is the thing that will handle the event, not the thing that will be consulted if what kind of event it should handle. Right. Okay, so okay, that makes it a lot clearer. Because that is what it is. What you described earlier would be a callback. Yes, that's right. I'm thinking about callback and I'm reading a predicate. Yes, that is true. Yeah, exactly. That's what happened in my head. Yeah, it's been a while since I worked with callbacks and such. But having a callback, like it makes it makes so much sense to me to pass a callback. Which will be called to handle the event instead of doing this. Well, I guess the call predicate pattern can be confusing. Callback is not confusing at all. Predicate is, well, not really used to it. I don't even remember ever using predicates. Yeah, this is okay. So now let's see. So how is this supposed to work now? So how am I supposed to use this? So what's the benefit of this predicate here? So it lets me decide if this is the event I want to handle, but I have to pretty much handle it right away, like in the same on message. Yeah, this is a bit awkward because I want to handle messages as well, like in the same menu. If I have buttons, I also have numbers, so I want to handle like normal messages as well as button presses. Predicate should determine if it's the event you want to handle. For example, checking message ID and custom ID. Yeah. So how I work around the situation? Yeah, I don't like it. Well, because I foresee. Well, imagine. Well, I need to disable all the previous buttons somehow. So basically, I need to kill this off. I need to change its behavior. Oh. If you have another specific event, you should be able to do that with some is instance check in the predicate. Oh, okay. So this will. So instead of sending and waiting for like handling on message events, it should well, I can't really do either. Well, I can't do one and the other. So I kind of have to do everything using predicates. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah, this is okay. Yeah, so this is the event that actually gets returned when it. Okay, now it makes sense. Some waitings. Well, this is like. Not sure, like this. This seems like so much nicer way to describe an event handler, having all of this. So like wait for parent was called, yeah, predicate instance and instance event and is instance of create event and is instance create event, interaction create event, DM message create event. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, that I need to do everything with interactions. Well, with predicates, because then you can actually do that. Well, sure, that's actually. Well, the timeout after which bot forgets your context, forgets that you messaged it, and when, for example, if you, let's open the actual bot, so the spaghetti code one. So basically, when you open a menu, the bot keeps you in memory for 2 hours before it forgets. So to do that, I just have not none. I have it to whatever is 60 times 3600, 7200. So yeah, that would be my MO event handlers are for events you want to respond to whenever without without prior context. While wait for fits for stuff like menus where you create a message and want to do after event happens for that message. Yeah, I don't really want to keep editing messages though. That's not how it works. It sends a new message. And yeah, well, what's the benefit though? Because well, wait for over event handler. Because I still don't really see the upside to using predicates. You say it fits better, but why does it fit better? Create a message, then want to do after event happens. That message. Yeah, I guess it lets you handle multiple messages at once. So basically you initiate a message on which you have a bunch of buttons, and someone else does the same and gets another message with buttons, and then they don't interfere with each other in that way. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Can't wait for easier to read the whole flow of a menu at once. Whole flow of the menu. You mean the whole menu tree? I don't... That doesn't sound all that... So what you're saying, I have this, then I fire another respond and wait for another event. So I basically have a chain of... Oh, it would be just a loop, because it's not like, it's not a wizard where you just go through a certain number of... Oh yeah, I guess you don't really need to define any others. You just have a response inside the handler. That's it. Because the menu is not split between 2+ event handlers, but with a more complex menu you might actually want that. It's not split between 2 or more event handlers. Okay. Well, event handler can be one, like, it is right, like like the whole event handler would be just to check what kind of button was pressed, and then based on that it decides what actually what kind of function to call. Depends on your style, I guess. Well, I'm trying to understand it completely so I can actually make a decision how to use it, because based on that I might run into issues. Okay, so this could be just initial message. So yeah, it would initiate. So basically, it would be pretty much would call this thing again with the same with the event. Yeah, message create. Wait, this will get hit as well? Won't it? Yeah, it is an event listener. Wait for is better for menus. Yeah, well, I think it's either is fine. Like, you get the same thing. Like, in event handler you get a parameter that's an event, and here you just get it returned. So you can do whatever you want. You can, well instead of the logic on deciding what kind of action you need to take, being inside the event handler, you can have it outside of it. And that's. But my approach is just to have all the checks in the handler, and everything else just goes way deeper. Yeah, so this is the actual. So yeah, from the event I actually get what I need and pass it on. So this is like initial processing of the event. And here it checks if the context, if there's no context. Oh yeah, if the user doesn't have a menu assigned in its context, then it gets a new menu, like the start menu and so on. And if it has a menu, so it calls that menu's handle input method. So it just passes on control to the handle input depending on what kind of menu it is. Let's say it's just a normal menu and it just calls, well, basically just it starts kicking the ball around. Right, so with that setup, going without wait for might actually be nicer. Might be. Well, I think it's the same thing. Like it's just, well, as far as I understand, it's a slightly different approach. Like it doesn't really matter per se. Of this, well, maybe I should have looked around. Well, whatever. So now when I understand what's actually happening. Yeah. So my confusion was predicates. I never actually, yeah. This is my first time. Yeah. Being exposed to predicates. Okay. Yeah, and that's. I thought, for some reason, I thought that that's a different name for callback. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so instead of this, yeah, but this for handling buttons, well, it is a predicate. Like there is no other option, as far as I can tell. So I have to use predicates here. Well, I guess to save the same functionality, to keep the same structure, I guess I need another version of onMessage that gets called when I extract the event from event handler. I mean from the predicate. Oh, from wait for. And another one is when the user actually presses a button. Wouldn't it be the same though? I don't see them often either. The built-in filter functions use the predicate actually. It does not call it that, it just calls it function. Yeah, imagine, yeah, most of these features, those advanced features like that, are most useful for actually writing libraries. Because I can definitely understand the use cases there. You definitely want to, like, since the you have so much functionality to cover, and all of it is kind of the same, very similar, so it's easy to see the patterns where you can actually optimize like your work through mechanisms like that. But for actual implementations, like, it rarely makes sense. Like, if you know them, it's nice, but chances are that people who will be working with you in a team, that you will have to teach them all of that. So, and people who will be maintaining, mostly will be done with by junior staff. So if you take all of that into account, it's a big question mark if you actually need to use that, if it's actually beneficial to use all of those advanced patterns. At least that's my thinking so far. as a average developer, like even below average, I would say, at this point, clearly. So the easiest thing would to do, if I understand correctly, is just do this and on message event. And I don't care that it is on a different type. Like, why do I have to declare type? Like, there's nothing specific to this type that I use. Like, I just extract the message, that's it. I don't care about the rest. Where's the author? How do I get the author? Oh, everything is extracted from the message itself. So yeah, if I do this and just pass it again, loop itself back. So yeah. Is this it? Yeah, in my framework I don't have a predicate. My wait for just waits for the event of the type to happen and returns it. Yeah, I guess this is a little bit more flexibility. So yeah, that's what they mean by none. So they will just return the first one. So if you don't define a predicate, then it will just return any event. Right. I guess this is the the layman's workaround. Will this actually work? I will be very surprised. Okay, I need the hint. Okay, so I guess the hint is not optional. What was it? Will it complain that I pass a different event? Yeah, without a predicate you would often wrap that in a loop to check if the event was for the button message user you wanted, then do it for again if it was not. Well, from what I understand, like this is not the one function, like it is asynchronous. So it's not like the same instance handles all the messages. So you don't actually have to check if this message is for a specific user. If I understand correctly with predicates. Because if it's already here inside, then actually I don't know. But I just don't really like this recursiveness. Well, I guess for testing purposes, I guess it will be fine, but yeah, I don't think I will leave it like this, even if it works. So. Okay, so the menus work. I press test. And on message event, happen here. Message was never awaited. Oh, wait. Think of wait for as temporary inline client listen. Yeah, I understand that. I'm talking about the event handler. Because the event handler, like, it gets initiated. Does it? Because you get into sessions, like, what I liked about event handlers, like it was a stateless, well, pretty much stateless communication. I save the state on my side, but like, sure, maybe I'm thinking it wrong about it. Event handler is basically callback. Yeah, that's why I I jumped to conclusion that it must be a callback because that's how it works. Well, it used to work with Discord.py library. Okay. This again. This does nothing. Okay. Oh, okay, that throws a wrench into my workaround. Oh, I guess, yeah, the message is still here. So I still have the message. Will it complain if I start molesting its objects? Like this? Oh, message. False message. What happens? What if I do this? Oh, already feels wrong. I'm just playing around. I'm not. I just want to know what happens. Trying to like poke at it and see what happens. Okay. It complained here when I was trying to assign a message. Okay, so didn't like it. Wait. Pass it to a new function. Handle button one press message event. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, no problem. Well, I just like since this predicate thing is new to me, I kind of wanna play around with it a little bit more. Well, not really sure what I can actually. Okay, let's see. Your suggestion: handle button one press message event. Yeah, so basically that's what I should do. Then I can construct my own. So basically the DM, yeah, I would, well, I imagine this has a factory method, and does it have a factory method that accepts the already existing instance? Oh, I will write it. So this is interaction event. So yeah, just basically, I think what I can do instead of what, well, it's actually matter. I don't think there would be many use cases for that, yeah. Okay, now the issue is about the timeout. Since, well, my bot keeps in mind the user's context, so it remembers what the user typed for 2 hours, but it doesn't remember everything. Like, it doesn't care about the older messages. So, oh, let's see. So this is very important. Yeah, need this anymore. Right. So since it has 2 hours, what will happen? Well, I imagine it will trigger it anyways. So I have it one menu, then I open a second menu, and I press button here. Yeah, I guess it didn't crash because it doesn't try to do anything. Okay. Okay, this was gonna be interesting. So message, I will reuse the old event here. Okay, whatever. Oh, if I stopped it. one menu, another menu, press a button here, and stuff happened. So it got triggered again. An old button. Yeah, it's printed out another menu. Also, it thinks I repeated the same message, I think. It just crashes because it's not fully implemented. Wait, let's see if that's actually true. So this... Oh, no, this doesn't work. I get the menu. Oh, will think I've written A again. If I write 1. So if I press test, it should open killbot creation menu. It did not. How come? They basically called itself again. Oh, recursion. Recursion. Okay, now I need to think of how to actually do all of this. And call the functions. Because this is definitely an issue that all buttons still stay active. So I guess I need to keep track of them. And in the event handle button, so each menu will have different IDs for buttons. Actually, I need to go to the toilet, so sure, what can I leave on stream? It'd be interesting to watch. Second, see. Can I show? Actually, maybe I should show one of my streams. This would be... Yeah, why not use my own content? Let's see. Someone was asking how data gatherer works. Yeah, that stream was hidden. So it will be my streaming my old streams. So let's see. Let's open it. It'll be really quiet though. Looks pretty good. Yeah, what could be an interesting part? Where I actually do some coding, because that's one of my most productive streams so far. I managed to write like 10 lines of code for the whole stream. Hopefully that's gonna change soon. Right, where's my OBS? To mess with sounds. So I need to X. Started from the oldest ones. So quiet there. Let's do an order. Order by ID. Okay, right back. Be back in 5 minutes. So it will get the well, the intention is to get the first records that will be deleted, because now it gives previously it selected like the last records that will be deleted, which I already knew about. Taking so long though. Like when I come close to a solution, then the queries become very slow. Somehow this doesn't look promising. Why though? Being so difficult. So yeah, and this is what development is actually like. You're sitting and wondering why and how. So that's the long and short of actual development. Because people sometimes, well, even I at some point when I was studying development, I thought that development is just power typing. You sit down and just type code non-stop. And that's... In reality, yeah, it looks much more like this, where you sit and think. And it took 89 seconds, that's nonsense. Why? Selected by, well, I guess I do a select inside of a select, but why that would be? I think I could do it faster manually. Just inserting the number myself. So 550 actual number. Let it do the math itself. Yeah, now it took only 0.0. Well, it did it in a second. So for some reason, having a select inside of another select, it just messes with the database for somehow. Yeah, maybe the database implementation is not that great, or maybe it's just the SQL workbench that I'm using is not that great of a tool. But either way, there's no reason, like, I don't plan on cramming everything into one query. I'll just have separate queries anyways. Yeah, since this is live data, I'm not really keen on testing the actual delete statements, just yet at least. How the code is actually implemented. Check for old records. Exception, retry, old events. Was that it? Oh yeah, I guess it was. Oh, so it has all the names of the fields and tables in the odd quotes. Guess we'll just use the same syntax, it should work. First try. Hopefully. So yeah, here, when I get the connection, just do the same thing that I do here. Connect to the database. I guess I can just do the same. Well, I have the connection, so maybe I close the connection, reconnect again for the delete statement. Be a better choice. Yeah, let's do that. Just don't pass the connection. Let's do it myself, like I did in this. This now has no parameters. Yeah, this is done. Everything done in global scope. This is so terrible. This design is terrible. But let's not talk about that. See, I would do nothing for now. Wouldn't complain about syntax not being correct. It's pretty much the same as here, but copy pasting is the favorite part of coding, is to copy paste. See how similar will this code be actually? Maybe I could abstract it into another method, make it a little bit more concise. I guess it is a little bit different because it has values in the middle of the query need to be inserted also. Oh, this is the error. Okay, that's like prints out logs like that. Like this is this, you can definitely see that I didn't know Python at all at that point. You can argue that I don't know Python still, but this is just terrible. So okay, in all the ones, so yeah, it has a string that it's attached, and oh, and this one doesn't have any. I'll have another query that I need to execute as well, so it will be two queries. Scroll 2. Work out. I can delete this. Yeah, why didn't this work? Number T. Quick fix. Format does nothing. Well, I guess it happens when it doesn't. Well, when it's not a valid syntax. So this is probably not a valid JSON or something. Try inserting. I know this is not important, but just for myself, my own sanity, I wanna know watch view page source, raw data. If I have to wait, I'll just find another window. And I close the other window. Have to wait. Here it is. There's raw data. Okay. So I just copy raw data here to this file. Fully. Damn, this is taking a while. See, memory 20 gigs used. My swap is full as well. It's amazing. Feels like this is operating in swap. Like it's completely unresponsive. Hey, pasted the JSON. Okay, let's do the formatting. For Albion Online? What is for Albion Online? Toggle format. Yeah, so now it works. So I guess that JSON was just not a valid JSON somehow. The data gathering, yeah, it's part of my fleet of applications, fleet of bots. Also, what language is it? It's written in Python, so this is Python. This is the main method of the data gatherer. And this is just JSON of the data I actually store. So this is, how many records was this? Remember. Was this only 5 records? I think so. This is how much data you actually need to store, like 6,000 more or less pieces of data for 5 records, I think. So yeah, that's why it takes well, the database bloats up. Interesting, by the way, reminder that for us it's almost 8 p.m. So what of it? Go walk the dog and then do something. Okay. Well, I have a clock. Don't have to remind me what time it is. But I appreciate that, I guess. So it's don't you have anything planned for a specific hour? Let's see. Yeah, so this is how it's supposed to look, and that's why it takes. So this is when one record starts, and where does it end? It's another one. No, goes even further. I'm reminding you so you don't lose track of time. Well, okay, thank you. Am I known for losing track of time? I don't think I showed that. It's not really a trait of mine. Not when working, at least. This is kind of feels like work to me. It feels like I'm a first day at work. Except I know the kind of what I'm working on because of my own crap. Even find the end of this record. Well, okay, it doesn't really matter. But it is a lot of data. Pretty sure. Check. So if I view it as normal JSON, lapse all, yeah, it's only 5 records. So it has 6,000 pieces of data for 5 records. So for 5 kills. So and each line of this is 1 kill, and this data field has. Okay, I'm back. This would be very loud. Okay, maybe it won't. It is loud. Okay, this should be about normal. Okay, I didn't miss anything. That's good. So yeah, when I was well, sitting on a toilet, nothing gets your noggin working like sitting on the throne. I think I have it worked out, so I have an idea what I wanna do. So basically now, well, I have handle user message, and what it does? Okay, it calls handle. Oh, it handles input, message text. Do I need anything else from the message? Not really. Just the text part. So why don't I pass text here? Okay, how many handle inputs? So this accepts message. Does it need anything else? Nope. Content strip. Oh, so this is for language menu. And this handle input also doesn't care about anything but the text. So yeah, and handle input. Yeah, they basically all do the same thing, so might as well extract it out here, and instead of passing a message, I will pass the actual text. and just have another implementation of handle user button press. That's gonna be it. Message user context. Yep. I think that's gonna work. Oh yeah, one thing to keep in mind. Yeah, I want to test something. It's about retaining context. Because it is clear that... Okay, so message... So this will retain the message that was sent. Okay. So the test I wanna do... So, okay, the theory is that when I have two messages with buttons, like both of these buttons are still active because timeout is really long. So the bot should react in both cases. Well, it will react. But the question is, will it... Well, if I send first message as number 1, it doesn't care that I selected 1. It just cares that I didn't have a previous history. Well, since I restarted it here, it doesn't remember about any of the messages previously. So when I message, it doesn't really care what I message. It just gives me a first menu, because that's what it's supposed to give you when it's your first time messaging, at least from the perspective of the bot. And so, let's see. And the second time, I will select number 2. So now the question is, if I press this test, it should simulate button 1 press on this menu. I think that's what's gonna happen. And it crashes. Here are BattleBots, so I guess it's not implemented, so it crashes. Okay. Think. Okay, let's redo it the other way around, because the first menu is implemented. So let's do 2, get initial menu, then let's do 1, and then this, if I press this button, it should select 2 in this menu. Okay, non-type object, arborhead, not with show. We're handling message 1. Well, I guess I can see it from here. Yeah, handling message 2, and then... So what can I do? So the idea is... So how I will actually implement this? Well, because, well, this is not really a problem. I already figured out how to solve this. So basically it will be about the, well, checking the IDs. So that's why I need a separate method to handle buttons, because all it has to do when it gets an event of about a button press, it needs to check if this is, well, if that button actually exists. Well, if you're allowed to press that button, aka if you're in the right menu. Because, well, what I want, the end, is if I press buttons on the previous message, I wanted to ignore them, just do nothing. Might even, maybe even disable. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be worth disabling them. 2 hours. Okay, it might be another issue here. What if someone just spams like thousands of messages? Would these predicates, well, how much memory will they take? Because it has to store a list of predicates somewhere. Does it? Yeah, so it stores the context, everything. So basically each button generated. Okay. So I need a way to disable the button after a shorter period of time. Maybe well, the perfect solution would be to disable buttons when the next menu shows up. Or interrupt this wait for. I wonder if disabling the button will interrupt this wait for. Meek. It's a good question. Yeah, how do I disable buttons? Okay, I guess I need to start with, if I wanna use the official documentation, I need to start with Python, not Python, Discord documentation about interactions. Maybe this will make more sense in that case. Community resources. Each instance. Let's look for buttons. Such components, yeah. Right. The component. Action rows, custom IDs, buttons. Oh, this is where I am, okay. Button object, disabled. Really tell me all that much, I guess. Yeah. Components, type, component type. Custom ID. Oh, what about not non-custom? About an actual ID? Message has it. I wish buttons had it as well, so I can just call the API to just disable it. That's not really an option. Yeah, just having a short timeout doesn't really work for me. I guess it just says what the capabilities are. Just click on a button, your app will receive an interaction including the message the button was on. Okay. Interaction object. Pointing to an interaction. Console. Data. Fallback type. Channel message with source. Respond to an interaction with a message. ACK, interaction, and edit. Response later. The user sees a loading state. For confidence, interaction and the original message later. The message, Respond to an autocomplete interaction with a suggested choice. Oh yeah, this is for the dropdown, I guess. So you can actually implement some sort of filtering. Callback data structure. And how do I actually enable disable buttons? Because I imagine that's how you're not supposed to. Like, there isn't much point in adding a button if it's gonna be always disabled. Like, there should be a way to change that. Moving, create interaction, edit message. I don't really like this gray on gray. It's not that easy to read. Like blue, white on blue also doesn't really work all that well. Let's see. Disable button. Button structure, styles. CDM event, interaction creator. I think that's what's the name of that event that we get. Interaction create event. It is in Hikari, so it should be here, yes. Interaction create event. So as a shard, gateway shard interaction. Partial interaction, okay. Let's look what this has. ID, application ID, token, version, app. This is a good resource. Utils. For interaction. Right. Type checking. Readable. For interaction. So this is the predicate. Events is done. Error. This is wait for interaction. It has predicate defined inside of it. Yeah, this is not something I'm not used to as well. Having functions inside functions, like that's a bit awkward. Well, it seems awkward to me. I guess there's nothing wrong with it. Like if you want to use the same piece of code multiple times in function, yeah, why not? Right, event return, event interaction, button info, information embed. So confirmation button ID, deny button ID, title is none. Custom ID confirm button ID. Oh, so yeah, this is just a constant, I imagine. Find somewhere. Oh yeah, here it is. Confirm, deny. Title. Wait, callback. This callback come from? What? I copy it. Callback. It's here available, so you get this as a parameter confirmation embed. Then That color. Oh, so you update the embed, okay. So if it's accepted, it has a green line, and if it's denied, then it has a red line. Okay, yeah. It's really cool. It's a very good way to indicate the state. Yeah, well, I don't think well, there's a good case for me to have that. Well, to have embeds. I didn't think originally, well, originally this was just quick and dirty. But even now, I don't think it would add anything. I would just lose space with the embeds. Would make it a little bit harder to read. People say it's cramped as it is, so adding more components won't help with that. T. What got stuck to a table? It's a good sign. Right. I guess I can implement a little bit of code, and when I get to the point where I actually need to disable a button, I need to figure out how it's done. Callback is found on all. Let's look on, well, since I'm not, well, I have, it has been pretty much confirmed that there is very few examples. So I guess the best resource is just to search on their Discord what people asked already. So let's see. They should definitely do they? Yeah, it would be very useful. Ooh, something's going on in my Discord. Oh, so the guy was complaining that he can't the bot message the bot in DMs. It turns out he had DMs disabled on this server. Okay, let's give him a salute. Like, this is my well, one of the best emotes. I'd say that's the most commonly used emote. This means I'm glad to help. Client, wait for interaction, create event. Blah. So where do I start? I guess I need, first of all, I need a message. Well, it's garbage. Well, I guess this can stay for now. And I actually need handle, instead of handle user message, I need handle bind, handle user button press. Is there a different type of interaction for buttons specifically? Interaction create. Let's look at documentation. This is a very mellow music. I close something important. Wait for. Probably not. Let's see. What I'm looking for is interaction create event, so let's copy it, find it in back. It's here. Interaction, create interaction channel. See what kind of events we have for buttons. Button style, component. Ooh, that's select menu component. Shard disconnect event. Maybe I should look for event. Ooh, a lot of events. Press. Ban event. Action event. Okay, Google join. Action DM reaction. Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't, and it didn't event. About button. Button style, button component. Right, so all of this is, so this is this module, child modules, classes. So pretty much the same thing that's on the side is here, with the group of users. Yeah. Okay. Maybe someone needs these comments. Yeah, I guess, well, eventually maybe they will be useful. So, is there a list of events? I think I should be looking here. Channel interactions and responding, receiving an interaction. Interaction create. Oh, so I guess it is only one. There can only be one. Wow. So it's, yeah, outgoing webhook. Oh, yeah, so it's REST or the other one. Interaction. Wait. Oh, this is gateway. Interaction create. Inner payload is an interaction. Receiving an interaction. I guess, well, from the looks of it, it handles, well, it defines commands and buttons. using the same not sure how to describe it, logic tree. Basically the ball gets kicked around the same way, goes in the same way, passed around in a very, well, same way pretty much, from the looks of it. Hey, welcome back, Nice Hunter. So what? I'm thinking, what app runs your code? What do you mean? What do you mean app? My code is the app and executes your loop. Well, I am the loop. Client run. This is the loop. I guess it is. It comes from the library that I use. So that one, that's what defines the event loop. Does my PC execute it? No. I have a server where everything runs. Your code in the cloud? Hell no. Cloud is expensive. Not gonna do that. I'm not gonna rent out a cloud, especially for something like this. Everything is homebrew. That's the answer I was looking for. Okay, well, good. So yeah, it is running on my home server, as well as the database is running on the, well, a bunch of other stuff. I have my own Git instance. What else do I have there? I don't even remember. Basically a bunch of, oh yeah, crypto stuff as well. So I have a database, a data gatherer for Albion. Someone was asking how my code actually gets kills, but like it is the whole thing. It is kind of a long process. Like it's not as easy as it seems like it is. It's not just generating a message. First of all, it all starts with one application that all it does. Where is it? Yeah, it's a very simple application, and it's written in a horrible style, so don't judge, please. And all it does, where is it? Get new events. So yeah, this is what actually get events. It does a HTTP request, and yeah. How do I create the server? Well, if you want to create a server, like, well, for the same exact reason you created it for your project. So well, yeah, I guess let me show you something. This should be interesting. Let's see. So first of all, you need like a machine, like any machine. A laptop even might work. Well, depending on your use case, how hard do you want to run it? Let's see, right one. Okay, am I showing anything? I shouldn't know. I think this is all good. So yeah, so this is my server interface. Well, so basically I'm running Proxmox as my, well, Proxmox is a distribution of Linux. So there is actually a really good video on YouTube that introduced me to Proxmox and how cool it is. But I guess the Docker is a little bit more mainstream because everyone talks about Docker. I never used Docker myself, but it pretty much does the same thing. So basically, this is what the server looks like. Okay. I shouldn't click around like this willy-nilly. Don't worry, really. I don't want to expose some data that I don't want to be seen. But yeah, so basically, this is dedicated server. So what makes server a server? Well, basically, if you take a PC at our tower PC, like a normal PC, like a desktop PC, and you take a server, like the both can look the same. Like it's not the hardware that defines it. Like there is a specific hardware for servers, but you don't have to use it. Like server specific hardware is meant to be more robust. It has like error correction, like hot swappability. Like hot swappability, that just means that you can unplug devices and plug everything in while the machine is still running, and it's supposed to, well, and it will handle it. May you send the documentation, that YouTube video, for me to study? Ooh. Give me a second, I'll find it. It's not really about the video specifically. Second, I'll look for it. Let's see, level 1. What was it? Actually, I can do it on stream. I have YouTube here. Right. Level 1 Proxmox. So operating system is what actually matters. Setting the most auto epic server with Proxmox. Yeah, I think this is the one. Well, it's 1 year ago, so it is pretty new. Full course class, getting started. So yeah, I guess this could be a good start. It seems like it could be a good start. But this is the guy I was looking, like level 1 as a Linux channel, I guess. So this is what I was looking at, and that's how I got introduced into Proxmox. After that, when you, well, if you have a machine to play around, it is trivial to get it. Like it's well, it's, you install it the same way as any other Linux distribution, if I remember correctly. At least from what I remember, that's how you do it. Like you fiddle with the console a little bit, and eventually you have a running operating system. So yeah, so the operating system is what actually makes a machine a server, not a gaming PC or a desktop or a workstation, like whatever. So it's all about the operating system. So this is what I use for myself, and I'm really happy. And yeah, it is really cool. And yeah, and how to get it, you just Google Proxmox and you'll find it. I don't really have a handy resource because I don't really go there all that often. Like when there's a major update, then I update, like you can see here, Proxmox 2020. So this operating system was updated on like 2 years ago at this point. Is there on the internet free services for you to use service? I think there are, but well, you need to look around for them, and usually the servers are quite limiting. Like you can only deploy your specific things. You won't have, for example, what can I showcase? Let's see, can you tab? Oh yeah, let's do this. Okay, that's the wrong password. Okay, that's the wrong right password. Hash. Okay. Well, I guess the IP doesn't really matter if you see my local IPs. So, so if you can see, I'm on AO Data Gatherer, which is this server. So I connected to the server using shell. I could also use my PC as a cloud. Well, cloud is a different thing, but as a server, you mean? Well, that's, I think, what you meant. So, yeah, you could use, but, you know, your dual booting is annoying because, well, when you want to play, use your desktop, you have to log into that, and when you want to have your server running, then it has to be running. So, you know, dual booting is, I wouldn't say is a good way. Maybe you can have it as a virtual, but it's multiple layers, and like your desktop is desktop, like you shut it down often and so on. The server is not meant to be used like that. It's, you set it up and you basically touch it as little as possible. You set it up in a way where you don't have to restart or do anything with it in the ideal situation, and that's what the operating systems are meant for. So you see, uptime is like, last time I had to restart the server was like more than 2 months ago. This server I restarted recently because I updated the code and I was just lazy. So it was easier to come here and press and do reboot of that specific virtual machine on the server than just logging into it like this. So the cool thing is that you actually get a full-on Linux operating system. So Proxmox is just like a parent, like a managing OS. Inside of it, you can actually create multiple containers. Like, yeah, there's create a virtual machine or create a container. So what I was talking about, what's its name? Docker. Docker is also a container management engine, let's say. Well, I haven't worked with it myself, so don't quote me on that, but that's what everyone uses. Well, it seems like everyone uses and everyone loves. So basically, these are containers as well. So basically, where I'm getting at is when you create your own, like with Proxmox, when you create a server, you get a full-on shell access, which is like, you can do anything. Like anything you can do on any machine, you can do on your server. So if I need to go, let's say I need root, no problem. Type in the password. Let's try doing it correctly this time. Okay, that's not the password. Do I know the password? Now that's the question. Let's see, data gather Albion, battlebot, data gather root, copy password. Okay, so I'll take it from my password manager. So okay, the password went in, and I have root. So basically, I can do anything on this machine. And usually, you don't get that on those free online hosting services. Like they provide like hosting for specific types of software. So, for example, if you have a PHP page, you might be able to find a hosting service that would be willing to provide you free hosting with certain limitations for PHP pages. So, for things like that, at least that was my experience. But also don't quote me on that as well, because I've looked into free hosting very, very long time ago. But I can't imagine people giving you full access to the OS, like root access to the OS layer. Well, yeah, so let's see. Albion. So these are all files. And you can actually look at the logs live, which is cool. Well, this is how I usually monitor how the server is doing. So the server, yeah, I see it. Yeah, it just got a bunch of new events, and it pushed everything to the database. Like this application, like this whole server, this instance does nothing else. It just runs the script that waits for 20 seconds, checks for new kills, and it finds if it finds new kills, it sends them to the database. Well, saves them to my local database. That's it. That's all it does. And then I have well, then comes Killbot, which is running on another like container, which is, well, pretty much a virtual machine, like a virtual server, on which it runs its own operating system, which is, well, all of these containers are actually running Debian. Don't remember which distribution. Well, I'm not gonna click around to see, but yeah, like it is a deep rabbit hole. I can tell you that. Server management and all the things associated with it, but it is quite interesting. Like, you can do quite a lot of things if you are willing to put in like some hours to do research. Otherwise, yeah, so that's where we just start if you want to do the same thing. Right, so this can stay here. What can I show? Oh yeah, we can look at the database, I guess. Where is it? Albion. How? Oh yeah, Albion DB. So yeah, we can use, you can, well, this database currently has 2 CPUs assigned to it, 2 gigs of RAM, and 117 gigabytes of memory. Actually, the memory, oh yeah, I implemented a very cool change which automatically clears out old kills, so the database shouldn't expand all that much from now on. It doesn't only save kills, it also has some other stuff saved in the same database, but yeah, that's beside the point. Let's see. Right. Else. Disk. Oh yeah, so you can see the performance, how much resources are being used for time. Our average shifted a little bit. So on average it was using 1 CPU at some point. Quite a lot. Quite high utilization. Change at all. Okay, maximum. Daily maximum. Yeah, so wonder how it changed. Can I look it from further away? Weekly. Yeah, this looks like usage 50 maximum. The average would be would make more sense. So yeah, it was fully under load for a while. Was it? Oh, so this is like 1 week, yeah. 3rd of January, 11th, yeah. Year average. I guess the server just launched quite long ago. Well, not that long ago. Even a year. Maximum average. Yeah, so you can have cool things like that to look around, which could indicate that you need to do something with the server. Like sometimes, well, what used to happen with some servers, yeah, this input output, I guess a bunch of new images were added back then. Like, for example, a bunch of new items get added into the game, then I have to download a bunch of new images, and those items have to be reported. So I guess that's how it looks. Like a a spike in. Oh, it is discrete, it's not right. It's interesting. Why I would need. Did I delete a lot of them? Oh. Yeah, have no idea what happened there, but yeah, it's there. If you wanna, for example, investigate, what is this? Killbot. So yeah, it does a lot of, well, it's 1.6 kilobits. It's not that bad. Network, so on. Yeah, so you get a bunch of cool things like that. And you have an access, like a root access, and there you can deploy a bunch of tools to help you with maintaining and updating whatever you're running there. Right, I don't really run that much that many services, like Git would be the one and the database would be another. The rest is, yeah, it's for the stuff I wrote myself. Yeah, so I only have 2 servers running third-party software, let's say. All the rest are running, well, boot disk size. Okay, this is not good. It's out of space. I need to investigate that for sure. I don't want it to crash. You know what can be done? Let's see. Resources. Memory root disk. Can I change? Actually see it. Oh, resize disk. Easy. It's more. It's 7 gigabytes is not enough. Take 7 more. Okay, done. Easy peasy. Let's look at the summary. And it's no longer out of space. I'm not sure why it's running out of space. I think the logging is not configured properly. Yeah, it might be just logging and not deleting all logs. That's the only thing I can think of that would make it, well, because what this CB monitor is actually an unrelated project that gets data from Coinbase about Bitcoin, and it's only Bitcoin. So all the data about Bitcoin. Each time a Bitcoin gets purchased for euros, pounds, and US dollars, I get a message. Well, I get that information. I save it to my database, the same database that is used for this, for Albion. So yeah, it is odd. I guess I didn't. Yeah, it must have been another quick and dirty project that I just needed to work. And yeah, didn't set up logging properly. I guess stuff happens. It's not something you would notice really quick, and as well, because I don't think I log all the messages. I might be, but I imagine it would have exploded, like the space. Let's see, disk usage, disk IO. So it's all about read and writes are barely visible. Let's see maximums. So I do a lot of reading from the disks for some reason. Yeah, it's a bit odd. Let's see. Hourly is negligible. Daily. So it does the read from time to time. And write is 0. So what's consuming all the space? Well, I guess something I'll have to investigate. What's the process of your whole design after the data from the API is being stored in the database? What process happens after? Well, there is another application. Well, kills are used by multiple bots, so there's well, when data gatherer puts it into the database, there's one bot is killbot that everyone uses. I actually have another bot, battlebot, that some people use. There are a few. But both of them check the database for new entries, and when they find a new entry, then they start, like, killbot starts making the image and posting it, looking up the configurations that are tracking that kill, and then composing a message and sending it to the appropriate Discord server. Pretty much the same is done by battlebot. It starts composing, but the message is not an image, it's basically a text message. It's the pretty much like the process is the same for both. But what I'm actually working on is config bot. So this is the server running my configuration bot, which I'm currently working on. I'm gonna add buttons. My test configuration bot. Like this is the test configuration what I'm testing new functionality with. So in the future, when this is done, yeah, this is how it will look like. Like it's, well, not exactly like this, but it won't be just text to set up the bot. It will have mixture of text and buttons. I think I posted an example. Yeah, this is where it came from. Yeah. Oh, the plugin messes with. Oh no, it didn't. Okay. Well, I guess the colors are off because I'm using a plugin to switch colors around to make it dark instead of light. But yeah, so this is how it would look like eventually. Well, like this. Well, minus this. This is not actually part of the interface. I'm not gonna implement adding these drop downs. See where menu. Let's remove that. Here. What is that website? By that you will have to be more specific. That you mean this where to build embeds? It's autocode. It's linked in the documentation. Well. Oh, autocode. Yeah, Nightbot is being annoying. Yeah, by default. I'm not sure if it's even by default. I don't remember how I set it up. Did it ban you? So posting links warning. Oh. Oh, you got timed out. Okay, so it was a timeout. Okay, timed off. Okay, that's not too bad. Hopefully it's not gonna ban users. Right. Because this Nightbot is set up like this because you get just spammers coming into going through, like spam bots going through streams and posting links, scam links, too much, or selling something, fake viewers or something like that. Yeah, want to be famous. Yeah, one of those with a link. Yeah, that website is actually linked in Discord's documentation. Hash commands, message commands, components. Where was it? It's message components. Action row. The action response. Blah blah blah. An example. I'm certain I got that link here. I found it on this page. Maybe not exactly this page, but from I found a link to this on Discord's developer page. Discord.com developers docs. So it said you can try out responding, interaction response, action. It's the same. Yeah, why is... Yeah, I don't see the link. That's bizarre. Giving a response. Valve. See button. Imagine it will link me to the same page, yeah. Yeah, well, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's somewhere in here. Oh. Wait. I have no idea. Autocomplete. There message commands. Message components. Was here? No, it's the same link. Documentation. Learn more about message components. Let's see, what does it say? Which just links to the same thing again, okay. Migration guide. Callback data, whatever. I found it somewhere here, I don't remember. Actually, I should... oh yeah, I have it bookmarked. So if you actually want the specific link, I can give you... Well, I can post it on Discord, well... or not on Discord, on Twitch. Nightbot shouldn't ban me. No need, okay. Yeah, I have no idea what else this is used for. Right, so today's struggle was... Well, I'm done with today's struggle and I'm about to end. But I started out this issue where, well... Yeah, there are a bunch of problems I need to work out. For example, well... Yeah, I need to design the application now. Because I understand how the buttons work, I understand how to use them, I understand how to interact with them. And handle all the things I need. Oh, one thing I don't know still is how to disable the button. Yeah. Might be a bit dumb, but yeah, that's what I still don't know how to do, because the current issue that I'm trying to solve is when you get multiple messages. If you click a button on the previous message, it generates an interaction. So it basically acts as if you pressed a button on this message. So everything is for this button, like button is attached to this message, but when you actually get another message with other buttons, when you click this one, this message, well, it acts as if this button was pressed on this message, if that makes sense. It doesn't even act like if the same button was pressed on this message. It acts as if this message, yeah, this button on this message, well, even though they are the same pretty much from user's perspective, like in the backend, they are not actually the same. Like this button is attached to this message, so, and this button is attached to this message. So when you're trying to figure out what kind of message was this button pressed at, if this one was pressed, well, I'm not really explaining it all that well. Basically, it's bad. What I would like to do is when I generate another menu, I want these buttons in all messages to be disabled, because you can't have them disabled. I think. Yeah, you do have them. You can't have them disabled. It was even message object, message components. So yeah, you have them disabled. So it is possible to make them disabled. Emoji buttons. Wait, emoji buttons cannot be disabled? Doesn't sound right. Because every button can have an emoji. Have to be like specifically this gray button. Maybe they can be reset. Not really sure what you mean by reset. Yeah, it is very convoluted way how to actually interact with those buttons in the code itself. Like it uses, well, first of all, I can't use the library I used to create the bot originally, so I have to migrate to a new library, which is called Hikari. Which is funny because Hikaru is, well, I know of Hikaru because Hikaru is one of the best chess players in the world, and the library is named pretty much the same. Chess player, yeah, Hikaru, and the library name is Hikari. So, where is it? It's wrong file. Hikari. So almost Hikaru, but not Hikaru. Slightly different. So yeah, I have to use that, and what's wrong with this? You're complaining? Oh yeah, I have this. Just let's have it empty for now. So it is a little bit awkward to use. Well, it's hard to read as well because the documentation is pretty much auto-generated. So if you go to the documentation page, it just looks like a bunch of auto-generated things with tiny bits of comments, which are probably generated from the source code anyways. So the source code has the same comments. So this whole documentation page is just, well, of questionable usefulness. Let's put it that way. Because like it doesn't really have any examples showcasing how to actually use that. I see add component. Well, it has a warning, so I guess that's useful if you find this. But otherwise, yeah, it is a bit hard to navigate and understand how to actually use it. And it uses advanced patterns, which, for example, it has predicate. Yeah. That's one of the patterns. I'm not sure, do you know what predicate is? Have you heard of those? Because this is was my first time having to deal with them. Throughout the whole time I was a developer, I never had to do anything with predicates. At least I can't recall. Oh, someone's spamming messages. I guess this guy can be banned. Ban! Oh, I don't even care to give him a reason. Okay. Easy. Right. Yeah. So I need to figure out... Well, I guess I'll get to disabling buttons one way or another. So predicates is an interesting concept, which, well, it's a way of transferring, not maybe a control, but yeah, not even sure what would be a good way to describe it. So basically, predicate means that and you use Python for development. Well, Python is a language, and Hikari is a library for Python, which is specifically made to connect and implements this Discord API. So Discord API is agnostic. Like it just says that this kind of response will be sent and this kind of structure is expected by the API and so on. But all of that is wrapped by different libraries for different languages. So let's see, there's a good page. Community resources. Where was it? I guess, yeah, this will work just fine. So yeah, so these are recommendations. So if you want to have a library, if you're coding in Go, JavaScript, well, in any of those, by PHP even, Dart. So if you're using any of these languages, it has a link let's say, Discord interactions JavaScript. So there is a library you could use in your JavaScript code, which you would, you would probably start here. Yeah, so this is how you install the dependency with Node Package Manager. As well, that's what runs Node. Well, yeah. Well, I guess if you know JavaScript, you should know Node as well. Yeah, so it shows you how to actually use that library for Discord API. So yeah, hello world, connect, content. So this is how you actually construct and send a message using JavaScript and this what's its name? Discord Interactions JS library. So I do the same, and Hikari is not even listed here, but it is also for the same purpose. So that's what it is doing. Like, I think even if you go to the first page, the home page, it says a Python framework for writing modern Discord bots. So that's what I'm using. What else? Well, if you have any other questions, let me know. I'm about to end. I'll think about. I think I will have time to think about how to implement this. But yeah, tomorrow morning I will be actually implementing the handling, because I need to move away. Well, basically it's a little bit different how I have to handle events from, well, button presses from messages. I can't really use the same the same identical path. I can use kind of the same thing with minor changes. Did you self-teach? Well, for Python I did. That's why I'm so bad at it. But for Java, I was Java. Well, when I was coding with, I am worse. Well, yeah. Well, I understand that some people, like, especially when you start you start at zero. So I'm not comparing myself to that. But compared to what my knowledge level was and experience level was on Java, since I worked on Java Enterprise solutions, and the process there, it wasn't like you just sit around and hopefully eventually you'll know things and learn from your coworkers. You actually go through certification, you read books specifically meant to, well, since Java is maintained by Oracle, Oracle has certification programs, and it produces literature to read as a learning developer. So there's a path you need to follow to become more qualified as Java developer. So in that sense, it is a lot different than self-teaching. And now when I switch from that to Python, where I pretty much do everything myself, I didn't go through anything. Like, basically my first introduction to Python was writing this killbot. So yeah, it is horrible. Oh, I can show you my initial code. Like this is what nightmares are made out of. So this is what you call a spaghetti code. Oh yeah, the library is deleted. So yeah, nothing will work. Well, it won't work anymore because I had to delete the old library, which this refers to. So yeah, it's no longer running. But this is actually the production code. This is what actually runs on the configuration bot server, and what handles all the messages. So yeah, and look at this code. Like, the problem is it is a mess, obviously, but look at how actually messages are being handled. So I get to user and the message, and yeah, so basically I have a huge if tree in one case. In other cases I have another if tree. Unless it's this case, then I have this if tree, and back to start menu. Eventually, if everything fails, then I go back to the start menu. Like, this is unmaintainable. I have no idea how I can configure battle. Let's see. Edit bot. What does this? This is another if tree, another giant. Like, that's for the configuration bot. Yeah, this is the configuration bot. Like, everything is one file and it's 1,000 lines long. So this is the configuration bot currently sitting in my Discord server and processing everyone's requests. How would you do it better than, like, first of all, you don't do message, like, like, this is just bad design. I was lazy. Like, I started with one if. I got, okay, I was like quickly making it work. So I got to one if, okay, if I get a start message, okay, I return this. Well, I set it, start message false, return message, and oh yes, this is a hello message. So basically I just return a hello message, so the first screen you see. And then if I'm going, if it's config, if config, enter, oh, so it's not, if nothing is being configured, then give him a menu to choose what he wants to do. Create new bot configuration options, yeah. So stuff like that. So I just keep extending it and never actually reworking it. So how I'm rewriting it, like it's like a second iteration is, so now when I get a message, let's see, oh, this is the menu. So the same event on message, let's say, where was it, main, yeah. So this has the same thing on member join on message. So when I receive a message, it goes through some logic, checks that this is, oh, it has a test mode. If it's in test mode and the user is not me, it just doesn't do anything. So yeah, when the bot is in test mode, only I can interact with it. That's cool. I completely forgot about that. But yeah, so this is the actual starting point where everything starts. And if you look at the new code, it kind of looks the same because it does pretty much the same. How do you manually extend the killbots? What do you mean manually? I don't manually extend anything. You don't extend bots yourself. You can only pay for the extension. That's the point. That's the monetization part. So if you set up a bot and you don't want to pay, you need to set up a new bot after it expires. That's the thing. There is another application called where is it? PayPal Monitor, Payment Monitor. So basically, there is another application running on another server that interacts with PayPal, and when PayPal tells me that someone paid for a certain invoice, then that application picks that up, and then it goes into the database and extends the bot for appropriate amount. So if someone pays for, let's say, 3 months, then, you know, PayPal tells, okay, the transaction was completed, money is transferred, then my bot gets that message and goes and does the magic into the database, so to extend the bot. Well, the extending is just changing the value in the database. Yeah, so how this works now, instead of going into a spaghetti code, oh, so this is get user data, so it gets user context, like so user data is just what menu you're in, what were your inputs, what the state of your configuration is, and so on. So basically then I handle message. Instead of having a huge tree, I just do rudimentary checks. If there isn't an assigned menu, so I need to give you a start menu, and that's pretty easy. From menu, I just get start menu, and all it does, pretty much it returns one menu. Well, that's how you would do it properly. Well, not properly, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Do it better, in a better way. So methods are short, concise, and easy to read. Like that's what you aim for. So you have a method that doesn't do much, and it's quite clear that, okay, this handle, well, even the naming, well, there's so many things you can do better. But yeah, this is definitely an improvement on the spaghetti code that is there, because that code, this code, is not maintainable. You would tell me to add a cancel button to some menu, like I have no idea where it is. I have no idea how to find it. Like I would have to reread everything I wrote to figure out how it works, and then maybe I would be able to figure out how to actually add some functionality. So yeah, this is terrible. And this, I see that there is a class menu that I create. So yeah, the menu has its name. I know what you mean. Yeah. Well, I know as well. It is a common issue with like developers that are still learning their way. Sadly, I guess I never was past it. So, well, I kind of know how it looks. So, but I'm slowly getting there. So yeah, when I look at this, I see that menu has, well, can actually take a look. It has a definition, menu ID, user message, and its context. And context in this case has menu items. So new bot menu, list bots, and languages, and that's it. That's all it takes to have a menu. Doesn't involve huge trees with like magical values somehow deciding what to show you and so on. Well, there's still a lot of that. Like, don't get me wrong. Well, how it actually gets the message now is when it returns the response. The response is the menu, and the menu, get user message, send content response. Oh, yeah. So it doesn't, it calls context menu. So basically this, whatever menu gets returned, it gets saved into the user's context, so basically into a variable that will be used when user will continue the interaction. And I call a method show. So show is where the magic happens. Be an easier way to find it. Menu, yeah. So say this. So what show does, it message set get translation, so it gets a translation of the certain menu menu item field. So this comes from the context. So whatever, like, that's why you have to have menu items in the context. So it goes through whatever it has to be done, like in a generic way. It doesn't know which menu in particular this is. It goes through it like it's made like a template for any menu. So because all the shared functionality is abstracted into like classes like this: user input menu, language menu, or just a regular menu. And when you actually need to create the menus themselves, yeah, for example, different menus are implemented in different classes, like language menu. So it just returns a language menu with this context, and that's it. Like, that's the implementation becomes a lot smaller. Well, in this case, it is a little bit more configured. List bots menu. So this is for implementation for listing all the bots. So it has a bunch of logic as well. So, well, this defines a bunch of methods that will be called from that generic class. So when you define like a menu item, you need to associate a different function that will be called when that menu item will be selected, and so on. So it's like, it is a complex application, basically. That's how it should, like, to implement that amount of functionality, it has to be pretty much a complex application like this. Otherwise, it's just a spaghetti code that is impossible to maintain. And yeah, this is not fully implemented, by the way. I only have a couple of menus implemented. And yeah, and now I'm getting back to it, and I want to not only rewrite it in some better way, I want to add buttons on top of it. So it wouldn't only be new inside, it would look also would look new on the outside as well. So the benefit of having it written like this instead of a spaghetti code like I had before, like here, is not only the ability to add changes, also to extend, to add a new menu. Like I need to extend this tree in like this logic tree in a specific place, in a specific order, and like have whatever this next step. Oh, this is terrible. This is claimbot. Oh. So yeah, it builds. Okay, this I'm starting to remember the nightmare that I created. How do you use Python in Eclipse? Oh, there's a very cool plugin for developing Python called PyDev. So that's what I use. So you get, basically you install any version of Eclipse. Well, the plainer the better, because less stuff it has. Maybe you can take a web development version, it will have a bunch of stuff for web as well. So basically we'll build it to, well, I don't even know. I don't really use that myself. And when you get it, you go to Eclipse Marketplace, or you can Google online, like there are, well, different ways to get this plugin. But this is where you would get it from. So open it, type in PyDev, enter, and it should find like this is the PyDev. Yeah, so you see 1.5 million installations. So it is quite popular. It's easy to spot like plugins that are really you should really be using. So yeah, and there's a bunch of other things. Like well, Marketplace for Eclipse is quite extensive. You can find a lot of useful plugins. I just tend to not use them unless I have to. And PyDev is, well, I would say you pretty much have to use that. Right. Okay, I think I'm done. Well, I am done for now. Tomorrow morning I will be working on continuing my work here to actually handle those buttons and incorporate the button handling into the menu in a generic way, where like I won't have to rewrite majority of this. I will probably rewrite it because it is written in a quite what would you say, noobish way. Yeah, I know a lot more about Python now, so I could actually improve on this code quite a bit. Thank you for the answer. Well, no problem. I'm glad to help. The thing I hate is typing. Like if people ask me to type out, like if you DM me with questions, I will be, yeah, I won't be as willing to answer them. If you come and ask me live, then yeah, I can. Well, since it doesn't involve typing, I can explain all day. I can talk about programming, cryptos, China, like all of those things all day. But yeah, tomorrow, yeah, this is gonna be massive. Yeah, I will be rewriting this as well. Even I am still unaware of how to do the same as you did, but you helped me understand the design of the whole project. Yeah, that's why I decided to stream this, because some people might be interested, because, well, it's not a tutorial per se. Like you won't come here to learn to do exactly what I do, but if you're interested in development, you get to see how actual developed product looks like, how maintaining, changing it, like, and ask like questions like that, well, might be not that easy to find online, like the answers to, like, you can't really Google how your application works, how do you get your data out of the database. Like those are questions are a bit too generic for Google to be able to help you with that. If you have a certain database with a certain language and a certain library, then you can combine all of those into a Google query and then get a reasonable response. Biggest problem is you can't learn from watching how you code already completed project. Well, you can learn, you can get an idea of what it is. Oh, I see. I'd say that's the biggest benefit. It's definitely not here. Like if you want to learn a language, like there's like you will see, if you watch the stream, you will see how much time I spend looking through these documentations. Like the documentation, like I even have Python documentation open because I had to look up. I saw a piece of code that had try and else. Usually try and catch and finally. Like these are no. These these keywords I know, but it turns out if you look at the documentation, it can have else. So you can write try except to handle the exception if that happens, and have else statement, which will be called in certain cases. So yeah, I have to look up things like that, and that's not a unheard of thing to do. Like you can't remember everything. So you will have to come back to the root, like the source, quite often. And yeah, if you want to learn just, this is, if you're learning Python, this is where you start. Like this is your home page. You should have this bookmarked and go through, like it has very, like where is it? It has start here, I think. What's Python tutorials? I think tutorials, no. How to keep installing blah blah blah. Start here. Oh yeah. So it says start here. So this is for those who are just starting, so absolute beginners, know nothing about Python, want to be are interested in development with Python. So this is where you go. You go to the tutorials and then yeah, you see like there's quite a lot you need to go through. And you go through this. So there's a bunch of explanation. So this is a short introduction, what Python is, how it works, and so on. Then you go to the next page, next chapter, and that's what I did. That's how I know something about Python. That's how I started learning about it, and that's the way I would recommend if you want to learn. Not just by watching videos or even googling how to do stuff. Like this is where you actually start to know the language and so on. I already have 35 hours of content that what I was able to find from what you had said were to learn to study. Yeah, well, it is extremely deep rabbit hole when you're learning things in development, usually. Even this library, like, it seems like, what of it? Like, it's a library to send messages to Discord and, like, get events, like, to interact with Discord. And, oh boy. how surprised I was. I still have so much to learn at this point. Yeah. It was a bit jarring to get to the point where I can't, like, I get to this and like it doesn't look anything like the Python I know. It turns out this is a feature of Python documented in this documentation. Like it is actually there. When I googled, well, when I went back into the documentation and looked for it, this actually means, get back, this keyword actually means that these arguments are strictly positional. So that's cool. Well, I guess if you don't know what positional arguments means, that then yeah, you'll get to that quite early in learning Python. But yeah, when you meet stuff like that you're not used to in your everyday code, and this library seems to be filled with these advanced I don't want to say little known, but uncommon features. So yeah, it is a bit of a struggle. I guess if you want to see see me struggle with development, yeah, this is a good stream for that as well. Not just to get a general idea how programming looks like. Hopefully it does that as well. Well, whatever. Okay, I'm ending stream anyways. Nice to have, but was really nice to have you. I'm really happy to answer your questions. Yeah, and if you go on and read some documentation, maybe have some other questions about maybe, well, I'm always here. I'm streaming like pretty much every day, even twice a day, usually in the morning and in the evening, for like 3 hours a piece. I don't want to, well, stream for too long at once. Yeah, you can come here and ask questions about more advanced concepts. Like there's a concept I learned about today, which was what's its name? Predicator. Yeah, that was a new thing for me. Yeah. So yeah, okay, I'm done. I'm stopping stream.